Welcome to the studio. Come on in. Welcome. I'm Michelle from Color Me Happy Fiber Art Studio, and I am a natural dyer of yarn and fiber along with my friend Linda. And we started this studio a little over a year ago. Both of us have other careers. So she is a neurologist and a researcher, and I am a psychology professor and researcher. But we came together and decided to start doing natural dyeing because, well, we just love it. I have been a fiber arts enthusiast pretty much my whole life. So I came from a family of crafters. My grandmother always had the crocheted afghans and things like that. And I learned to knit when I was about 8 or 9. My Aunt Stacy was about to have her first baby and my first cousin. And I wanted to make something special for the baby. And my mom didn't know how to knit, but she knew that our neighbor, Mrs. Norton, did. And so she taught me how to knit, and I made a blanket. And then a few years later, I made a blanket for Marcus's younger sister, Allison. So then I was kind of on my way, and I knit on and off for my whole life since then. I did a lot of cross stitching in high school and college. I've done some crochet. And then a few years ago, I started to learn about weaving and got really interested in that. And then I came to dyeing and actually spinning too. So making our own yarn.
I'm Linda from Color Me Happy Fiber Arts, and my fiber journey, like Michelle's, also started when I was young, but not with knitting. First, I learned to sew. I came from a family of sewers, and I grew up on a farm, so I loved making things, whether it was sewing or gardening or crocheting. And I really didn't learn to become a knitter and to love knitting until about 25 years ago. I learned that when I was working with folks, one of them being Michelle, who were great knitters, and they always had fun knitting projects at our meetings. And I realized what a wonderful craft knitting was and how it was so versatile and how you could just make it your own color and change the design. And I loved that about it. So that's when I started becoming a knitter.
Why we're making this channel or this show is really to share the joy of natural dyeing. We are both so excited about learning new things, about learning about nature, being in nature, celebrating color all around us. I just get so excited. Anyway, and also I wanted to give back. So I watched a lot of YouTube podcasts, read a lot of books and all of those things. But during a period of time when I was recovering from surgery, and then right when I came back to work, the pandemic happened. And so I spent a lot of time learning more about fiber arts and really diving in deeply. And so I just wanted to share back with the community and to meet other people who are interested in natural dyes and learning more about that. So that's kind of the background.
The reason I think I'm excited about starting this channel is because, just like my learning to knit experience, I love making things in community. And so finding other people who also love to create and who love to do things in collaboration with nature and to infuse what they do with nature is really exciting to me. So I look forward to that journey with you.
But what I'd like to do is have a show where we can share what we're excited about, what's in our dye pots, what's in the dye garden, and what's on our needles. What are we making or doing with our naturally dyed yarn and fiber? So that's kind of what we want to do, is just share that joy and our excitement of learning all of this stuff. Linda and I both made some short videos about why we love natural dyeing, and so I'll put those in.
Hi, I'm Linda, and one reason that I love natural dyeing is because of the chance to collaborate and create in cooperation with nature. I love making things in collaboration with nature, whether that's restoring a native prairie like we've done on our farm, or keeping bees like my husband and I do. But natural dyeing is a beautiful way of working in collaboration with nature. When I'm out here harvesting goldenrod and the bees are making goldenrod honey, I think about how seasonality makes things come and go, and there's a time to harvest and a time to rest, and about how we have to share with the world around us, the plants and the insects and the animals. So natural dyeing brings me really close to these things that I love.
First reason is that they come from nature, and I love being in nature. I love being outside and hearing the birds and the crickets. You can hear some traffic out there too, but I just love being with nature. And so that we can get so many colors from plants, different flowers, tree bark, bugs even, I think is really neat.
Another reason I love natural dyeing is I love science and I love investigating. And the process of natural dyeing requires us to experiment and keep track of what we're doing and learn from what we're doing as we go forward and try to make new colors and make sure that our naturally dyed fiber is light fast and wash fast and is going to be a great product for our friends who also love to create with fiber.
Another thing about natural dyes is I love learning, always learning. So I was the person who loved August and going back to school shopping, and I wasn't as much about the clothes. I was more about getting my pens and my pencils and my paper and all the exciting school stuff. And I stayed in school as long as possible. So I got my PhD in psychology, clinical psychology. I've been a professor, so I've been around school. Anyway, I'm a lifelong learner. And so with natural dyes, not only are we learning about color and application, but we're learning so much about the dye materials, the history of their use, different people and their cultures, and it just is so much fun. And so being able to share that joy with other people just is exciting. We started with marigolds because they are so easy to grow where we live, and they make such beautiful, rich colors. Marigolds, also called tagetes, contain the dye compound lutein, which is also what makes egg yolks yellow. Marigolds have been used in Mexico for thousands of years, and also throughout Asia, Central America, South America. But they really started, I believe, in Mexico. The yellow that comes from marigolds is a warm yellow with gold tones. And it doesn't matter whether the flowers are red or orange or yellow, you get the same color. When we gather our marigolds, we put them either in this box that we made that has a little bit of screen to let them dry, or we put them on newspaper. Here's Linda cooking our very first batch of marigolds. And after we strain them, that's what the yarn would look like dyeing, and the finished product. I am working on another Tromso hat.
What is this, number
3?
3?
Number 3 of 4.
Of 4.
At least 4. I think I'm going to make one for myself too, so probably 5.
So 3 of 5.
But
okay, you're more than halfway.
yeah. So this is for some people in our family. I'm not going to say who they are, but if they watch, they will probably know. So anyway, this one looks big, but this is an adult one.
Why did you decide to make so many Tromso hats?
Because they're so squishy and warm. I love them. So there's
I like the top of them.
this one.
I think they look cool. They make me feel like I'm in Norway.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a fisherman kind of nautical or
they
something.
are like a fisherman hat,
Yeah.
I think. I might have made this one just a little too big, but that's one. And then this is for a child. And I haven't woven in the ends.
And that one looks like, because here you've got merino silk, DK, and Surrey silk lace weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those look more similar colors. Whereas this one has this marled effect, which I like. The one you're wearing.
That's true. This is because it's a light and dark color, and these are more similar. And then this one is it's going to be another little guy one. So I tried to make them so that they would be coordinated, like it's the same hat, but not the same color. So it's not matchy too much.
I like it.
So coordinated. And then that is like a light blue with the Monet's Garden one over it.
I love that.
So I don't know if you can see how it is up close, but
Let me just zoom it in.
you could zoom it in. And matte. But they're just so squishy and soft. So that's what I'm working on now.
That's awesome.
Do you want to go next? I do have another one, but another thing that
You're working on more than one thing at a time. I can't believe it.
Oh, I am.
Why don't you show your next one?
Okay. I always have multiple things going because you never know when you're going to be playing Scrabble or sitting in a car for a long time or you need something to go, you know. So I like to have an easy one and one that is takes more attention. So the other one I'm working on.
Okay. Is it an easy one or it takes more attention one?
This takes attention. And you'll see why. Okay, so you did the tessellated vest by Andrea Mowry. And
I did.
I love all of her patterns. But
I used these 3 colors, Surrey silk and organic merino sport.
Oh, yeah.
In mine.
And based on yours, I got really excited about doing a tessellated vest. So I did this swatch so that you can see, and you guys can see. It's like pine is the main color, and then I did sort of a blue-gray Surrey silk, and then one of my hand spun for this. And the hand spun is like a merino bamboo silk.
And it was kind of blue and green and purple.
Yeah, it was this one. It's called Painted Iris.
That's so pretty.
So this was my hand spun, and I thought that would look really cool. So that was my swatch. And I was all prepared to do this. And then I finished another hand spun. Now this one isn't ours. This one is from... oh, it's still attached to my other project. Okay. This is my other hand spun that I just finished recently, and it is from Crafty Jacks. It's from Crafty Jacks.
So this one is not one that we dyed. At least I don't recognize it. Right?
No, Crafty Jacks did
this is one that's naturally dyed and then spun.
Yeah.
Hand spun, right?
Yeah. So I love spinning too. But anyway, I finished this and I thought, oh, that looks like holiday colors. And wouldn't that be cool with pine? So then I switched my idea from this to putting the pine with this. And I started it because I was too excited to swatch again. I started it and you just can't see the hand spun. It'll just show the vertical stripes of...
Trying to hold it closer.
Yeah. It's just going to show the vertical stripes really because that's where all the contrast is.
Right.
So, in consultation with our friends from Rose Gold, they were over here the other day and I said, what do you guys think? This or go back to this? And Maddie smartly said, if you keep this, it'll look fine up close, but you kind of miss out on the specialness of this yarn. And because this is so pretty, I should use it in a different project where people could actually see the colors. So she's right. So I took this off my needles and then I also tried it on and it's going to be way too big.
Oh, so that's
for me
good
now.
information too.
Yeah, while I was knitting on the, when it was still on the round, I thought, oh, it's going to work fine. But then I think it's going to be too big.
Okay.
So I'm going to go down a size.
And switch your variegated yarn.
And then go back to my original plan.
Okay.
Yeah. And this...
I think that will look awesome.
I think it'll be cool too. This is DK weight and the tessellated vest was done more in sport weight.
Sport.
And doing my quick math that isn't always so accurate. I picked a size and I think I need to go down one size based on this. But I'm in the ballpark.
Good. I found the size worked really well on the tessellated vest, and I really did enjoy knitting it. And once you get in the rhythm of the 6 rows, it's a 6-row repeat.
Yeah. With
slip stitches, it's pretty, you don't really have to look at anything. So I felt like it was, very well written pattern. Of course, it's Andrea Murray and clear. And the sizes worked out, but I will say the swatching is 100% necessary just because you have a solid and a variegated and a fluffy yarn, basically. And these two, the solid, the way the pattern's written, the solid and the fluffy will be on top of each other. And these will never be on top of each other. It just, the color...
So they're always separated.
Yeah,
like
so they're
this.
Always separated. So it's hard to predict exactly how the fabric is going to look. And if you want a higher contrast or a lower contrast, whether you have a lighter or darker fluffy yarn, it really does change the look of the fabric. Be prepared to swatch different colors to make sure you like what you're getting. That would be my advice to anyone, my take home on the tessellated vest or sweater.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So what else do you have out?
Well, since I am not currently knitting anything, which is very unusual, I am in the process of thinking about things.
Okay.
And one of the things that I really liked making the tessellated vest, and I decided I wanted to make another vest because it's very versatile and I don't have sleeve jail issues where I am sick of the sweater and I need to finish the sleeves. So,
I call it sleeve island. You
sleeve
call it
island,
jail.
sleeve jail, because you're trapped and you just have to get them done.
Okay.
That's what I call it. So I found a vest pattern. I have a bundle of vests on Ravelry.
Yep.
I look at patterns, I put them in my bundle if I like the vest. And there's one that I just keep coming back to over and over. It has not really been made very many times, but it's really cute. It's called Student's Vest.
Okay.
And I love It's a little bit oversized. It's got really cool eyelets that make almost like a giant Argyle X pattern on the front and the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that one of the versions, it's an Aran weight, but it also says it can be knit with a worsted and a mohair silk lace weight held together.
Oh.
And since we have been obsessed with our Surrey yarn, the Tromso hat, the tessellated vest, I thought, oh, it's another chance to use the Surrey yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about, and you can tell me what you like best, and anyone else can comment what they like best. So I'm thinking about using our DK silk just in natural, because I've kind of got the gray green, the grayish going with my tessellated vest.
Yeah.
So the merino silk I thought could be a nice natural, and then I could either pair with that the ever popular Monet's Garden. So we've got a little bit of variegated green and blue, or if I want something warmer, I could pair our Fall Harvest Surrey, which has just a little bit of orange and so that would give a fuzzy, variegated little bit of color to the underlying natural skein for that vest. So what do you think? Which one do you like?
Well, so I love Monet's Garden. That is probably one of my most favorite colors that we do. Plus, I love blues and greens.
Me too.
And that's what I'm doing this
Right.
little hat with.
Right.
So, of course, I like this. But I think these are so bright and cheerful, like happy colors.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it would be like
They look a little
too bright? I don't think it would be like too garish.
No.
Like even
No,
though this
'cause this
has
is
pops
soft.
of orange, I mean, I think you could wear it as a neutral vest still, like with different colored shirts under it or with different colored pants.
And I think
Do you
these
agree?
colors look nice on you with your coloring. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I would vote for this
Okay.
for you.
So maybe what I'll do, because I need to swatch, always swatch.
You could swatch
I could
each.
swatch this one and see if I like it. And if I really like how it looks together, maybe I won't even swatch with this one. I'll just do this one.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Unless our viewers
Have other
have
ideas.
ideas. Yeah. So
And I'm also thinking about one other thing, which I have not been able to stop thinking about since it came out from Lane Publishing. So if anyone has seen this book, Embroidery on Knits.
Ooh, that's been exciting to see.
So this
Seen a few posts.
is an incredible book, and Judith Gumlich, that is how you pronounce it, is a lovely German fiber artist and beekeeper. I learned because I'm a beekeeper also, so we had a fun Instagram exchange about that. But her book tells you and gives you patterns for beautiful botanical embroidery things that you can do to your knits. It could be a sweater that you knit 10 years ago, or a hat that you knit, or whatever. And it's got really beautiful patterns. Like here's a simple rye pattern. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Nice.
There are more complicated patterns if you like insects. There's one that is butterflies. Here's one that is a beautiful bird. So these are really amazing, and I did embroidery and cross stitch a long time ago. I've never really done it on knits, so I'm eager to learn. And then I thought I would start with a simple pattern. So my goal is to knit myself a pair of really simple mittens with our pure merino blueberry, because my winter coat is blue. And then doing this 3 sort of leaf with little dots for flowers. I think I want the little dots to be purple, and then the leaf part might even be green, because green is my favorite color. But then that would give me this nice blue and the olive green and the purple together for my mittens. So I am thinking about once my holiday knitting for people is accomplished. So in other words, December 24th. I will start my mittens and my embroidery on mittens for myself. So I am thinking and planning for that as well. But I will probably start swatching these tonight.
That sounds great. So when do you start your holiday knitting? Gift knitting for the
I would say
season.
I usually really start thinking about it like end of August, beginning of September. So I might start a project in September. Maybe earlier in the year, but in general, if I'm going to do a gift project, it's going to be something smaller. I've given up trying to knit large projects for other people.
Yeah.
I knit my daughter a pair of leg warmers that she said she just had to have, and I don't think she ever wore them once. And I was very bitter about that, so I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
And who really wants to wear leg warmers either? This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So something like a hat or a cowl or mittens or something like that I would do. And I would probably start September, October, and maybe I try to knit 3 or 4 things for people.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, every year around the holidays, I think I'm going to get a jump start. So I start right after.
Oh, wow.
For us, we celebrate.
How do you know what you want to make for someone?
Well, I don't. So I start with like socks or a hat or something like that. So this year I started right after. So we celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah in our family, and we have several groups of different people. I don't knit for everybody, but I usually try to make something for the graduate students I work with, and then for close family members. So right after the holidays, I started with some holiday socks and hats that were kind of in the theme, you know, of the holiday colors. And I always start off like a New Year's resolution thinking, I'm going to do something once a month throughout the year. And then when I get to the fall, I'll have a big stack done. So I made it through February, I think.
So you don't have a big bin of gifts that I can raid if I don't get my knitting done?
No, I don't. I think there are 3 things in there now. Well, 5
at least there's got to be more than that.
Yeah, so it started off with 3 things, and then last month I started doing the Tromso, and just loved it. So got a few more to go, and a couple in my head, but I'm going to try not to go to the last minute. I've had a few years where I'm still knitting on Christmas Eve, or after,
right?
To say, I've given people yarn to say this is your rest of your gift will be there soon, and I did that for my daughter for a weaving present, and that was 2 years ago.
Is she holding that over your head?
She hasn't mentioned
That's
it,
nice.
but
She's a nice girl.
I'm thinking I need to get back to that. So, yeah.
One of the projects I learned to make this year, which was new, is I learned double knitting. And that turned out to be both fun because you can do the reverse color patterns, and it makes a quick, really nice, warm ear warmer gift. So I do have 3 of those done.
Oh, wow.
Because I was playing around with a pattern, and then I wanted to see about making a child size with a slightly different weight of yarn. Since we're going to be having a class on DK knitting in November at the studio, I wanted people to be able to see different options.
Oh, yeah.
So I have 3 of those done, and I think I'll do a couple more of those for gifts as well.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So now you know what's in our project bags, but we want to know what's in your project bag. Let us know in the comments or on social media.
Thanks. What is it you're interested in about natural dyeing, and what would you like to see more of? And we can share that too. So thank you for being here, and thanks for being part of this journey with us. We look forward to getting to know you. Bye.